Hello everyone, and welcome to the last, but absolutely not the least match of the Osu World Cup Finals week. It is time for the winners' final today, featuring two teams whose journeys here over these past few years and few weeks this year are about as different as possible. On one side, you have the United States seeking an unprecedented fourth straight title and their seventh straight top two finish, which is really a display of dominance that's unheard of in Osu or in pretty much any other esport. They're going to be taking on Team Germany, team in their first winners final since all the way back in 2014, looking for their first ever championship here in OWC. This is, of course, a rematch of last year's grand final, which the United States won in a tiebreaker. These teams look about as different as you can imagine, though, from their last year's roster. Germany looking to have their best chance at a win yet. I'm this one guy. Joining me today in the booth is going to be Criller. Criller, looking at these teams, what stands out to you about these rosters? Who do you think their difference makers are today?
Well, we've got some new players, as you mentioned. Again, the rematch from last year. I think we've talked about it a couple of times over the course of the tournament, but the United States actually replacing 5 of their 8 players from the previous roster last year, losing Kablaze, BTMC, Apraxia, Vaxe, and Rectigon. They have new roster additions never before played in the tournament: Aricin, Exarch, Tekkito, and Utami, and of course returning DigitalHypno. So we've got a fairly different United States team compared to Germany. Only 2 roster replacements this year. They will be switching out Neox, and Smarty from that second place roster last year will be joined by Criller and KHZ. Now that Criller edition, likewise with the United States editions of players such as Utami, is a big factor in this match here. It changes the way that these teams decide to pick. They're losing a little bit of skill sets for Neox and Smarty, but they're joined by Criller and KHC, bringing in some of those streams. Criller with an all-rounder. Of course, the United States team as well. They are bringing in Aricin. You've got some speed there. You got the hidden Tekkito, all-rounder Utami, Exarch all-rounder. DigitalHypno comes in for all the gimmicky fun stuff. So some very, very interesting roster changes that I think will make for a more exciting match.
So, Germany coming in, maybe some of these picks that, you could put in Vaxe and expect to get, a 600-800K score on. Germany doesn't have to worry about that in this matchup. So as we get into Hard Rock 3 here to get things started, it is going to be a fun match. I think this is going to be one of the most competitive ones we're going to see if all goes according to plan. Starting off, fieryrage, Utami, Fancy Lad, Aireu, United States first pick, Hard Rock 3, taking on Criller, WhiteCat, hallowatcher, and Dustice.
If last year's Grand Finals match is any indication of how close this match could potentially be, especially with the roster changes from the United States, we are in for quite the treat. Here, we do have the Hard Rock coming in to start here. Hard Rock 3. Criller's going to find the first break here. This is another one of those maps that Germany had players like Smarty on last year that were very, very proficient in this skill set. So to be able to replace Smarty for the roster this year and still have a 4-man that can come out here and perform this highly, Criller not quite having the best of times here, about a quarter of the way through the map so far.
Yeah, hallowatcher is going to find the second break for Germany. This map is very, very difficult, as you see Aireu finding the first miss for USA. You saw a ridiculous score from South Korea on this last night. Don't know if either of these teams is going to live up to it. Utami, Aireu, hallowatcher, Criller, and Dustice all finding breaks, so it is just WhiteCat left for Germany. Meanwhile, Fiery and Fancy Lad, those anchor players for the United States, Fiery is going to come in on Hard Rock and be ready to go. Fancy Lad likewise on anything tech. It's a bit of a lead already getting established here, 200K for the United States. Feeling good on their first pick, it looks like.
Looking pretty good as a team, too. Utami did find that break right before this slower section here, but Dustice was right there to trade it out. It's Fancy Lad with the high accuracy as usual. We've seen him the entire tournament perform very well on these types of picks, especially with Hard Rock, and of course fieryrage maintaining that consistency. WhiteCat doing what he does best for Germany right now. Criller trying to put up a supporting combo to make up for those earlier breaks. hallowatcher, one of the more proficient Hard Rock players on the team, does find a break, but fieryrage trades it out. It's WhiteCat and Criller versus Fancy Lad Utami right now. The combo lead is in the favor of Germany, but they're running out of map. They need another break from the United States, and with Dustice continuing to find breaks here, I don't know if they're going to have that wiggle room.
Yeah, I think this one is too far to the USA side. Fancy Lad holding off WhiteCat, Utami with enough combo to keep things in track for the United States, and they are going to take that first pick 1-0 on the back of Fancy Lad, casually as you like, pulling out the full combo to match WhiteCat. Nearly identical accuracy between those two, both at 97% plus. Very good plays from those guys. The supporting scores, though, just a little stronger. That 700k from Fiery really making the difference. 2.6 million, a very strong team score for the USA, but Germany proving that they can hang with. I mean, only a 230k deficit, really not the end of the world on your opposing team's first pick. USA going to have to rely on Aricin, that addition to the team this year. We know he's that kind of late round insurance for these types of maps, but a little bit prone to the one miss curse. We see him, you know, he'll have 99.7, 99.8 accuracy and just miss somewhere at random. So hopefully he can avoid that fate here. But this is a solid first pick and an expected one, I think, for Germany going into a 270 BPM Air 10.3 that's already found 2 breaks on the USA side.
Not super comfortable for the USA, possibly on the AR. The accuracies on Utami and Aireu do suggest that they're okay, but as the map continues progressing, you do kind of see maybe that stamina gate start to come through here. Utami and Aireu both dropping the accuracy down. Meanwhile, Germany, a confident 4 FCs, fairly high AC on everyone. Okinamo's the lowest at 97. KHC does finally fall below 99. Risiing, another one of those players, was on the team last year. Didn't perform to an exceptional level, I think, as much as he wanted to. And coming in this year and looking really good on this DT3 alongside Dustice right now, matching Aricin and Fancy Lad. But it is just Aireu and Utami doing the damage for the United States here. And as we start to approach that last quarter of the map, these breaks from the United States are going to run this time down here. Risiing now the only break, and there goes Fancy Lad, and that's just it. Germany with an exceptional first pick here.
Yep, you knew that this was what was going to happen, I think, you know, and exactly as expected. Aricin coming in and putting up the score that you would expect of him for the United States. But it's just meaningless as Dustice and Okinamo are going to both FC. And there you go, another 4 million point score on another late round DT pick for Germany. That is just what they do. This is their skill set. This is what they're best at. And you can't ban it out. You know, when there's 4 maps that you know they're going to be able to do things like that on, you can't get rid of all of them if you're trying to ban against this team. So it's just leaving up the least of the evils and knowing you're probably going to take an L on one or another of them.
A strong run so far here. This is most notably, if you're looking between these two teams so far as well, just in the grand scheme of things for this tournament, the United States has only dropped 5 points over the course of the entire tournament so far. Likewise with Germany only dropping 2 points every single match to the teams that they have been playing against. So you have two teams that traditionally just don't lose their maps. So this puts you in a very different scenario when you're going against a team who is full well capable of taking a break point against you. And I think the nerves are going to be running a little bit higher for some of those players in this match that aren't quite as used to it. And I wonder if that's going to have an effect on maybe some of these more, technically intensive maps.
Yeah, you can really see the effects of nerves on maps like this one, especially with the length. I mean, over 3 minutes long, and you're throwing people in their first ever OWC finals into this sort of tricky, demanding pick that is in a niche that a lot of people aren't super comfortable with. So we'll have to see if the performances live up to expectations. So far, so good for all 8 players in the early goings here. So it's going to remain very close. Fancy Lad is going to be the first break coming off of the United States side, but Criller follows up, as does Okinamo. The United States now 3-2 FC lead, about a third of the way into the map.
A rough set of breaks for Germany. Map is not quite over yet. A very, very slight score lead, but that break from Umbre is definitely going to push it over to the US now. That is 1 FC to 3, and some rather similar accuracies for both teams means that they're not getting any bonus score on the US right now, but they're certainly going to run away with those combos.
Yeah, the accuracy, actually, though, both on Fancy Lad and Tekkito, despite the break from Fancy Lad, 97 AC, doing better than anyone on Germany. Tekkito, 97 AC as well for him. Both of those players lapping the competition. That's going to help just pull away a little bit more for the USA here as we go through the middle portion of this pick. And it is still 3 FCs to just the 1. WhiteCat doing his job as you would expect, but he needs help from his team. He needs help from USA finding a break somewhere, or that lead is going to continue to grow, 300,000 plus. here as we go towards the last quarter. There's a break from Tekkito. That's going to give Germany a little bit of help.
It might be just in time for the help that they needed there. There are some massive supporting combos on the side of Germany right now, so that break from Tekkito is actually going to put this right down the middle for the two teams, but criller finding another break there. Not going to be doing any favors for Germany, and I think they're just slowly out of time here. A 400,000 score gap between the two teams, which basically implies that WhiteCat FC's the rest of the map, and the United States gains no more score. But even with the backing from Okinamo and Umbre, I just don't think it's enough here. And the United States, again, continuing to remain strong on these no mod 6 picks. Again, not without contention on this one. Fieryrage finding a break at the end. It will be a little bit closer, but regardless, they've held off for long enough. The United States will kind of keep a fairly winning track record here. Almost 3 million score, but Germany not too far behind.
Yeah, USA is again going to feel, I think, decently comfortable with that. Utami finishing out the FC. WhiteCat, the top score there, 97 AC FC from him. As we said, arguably the best player in terms of just raw skill in this lobby, but showing he can play some of the gimmick stuff as well. So that'll be one to keep an eye on. But USA, just better across the board. You know, that's again, that supporting score a little bit higher for them, much like it was previously on Hard Rock 3. Yeah, I think, you know, get this out of the way early. If you win it, like you said, it opens up some other options. If you lose it, you still have a couple of DTs to fall back on if you want to go back into the raw mechanics. You know, if Germany wins this pick, then they might be thinking, okay, you know, we've got free mod 2, which is the small circle free mod pick as well available. So this is a very much kind of an info gathering pick, and it's one that I think they expect to be quite strong on. But United States, you know, no slouches. They are going to bring in Exarch for the first time. Fiery, Utami, Fancy Lad, all pretty solid on these precision picks, but, you know, Germany historically very, very good at precision hard rock. Traded breaks early on, Utami and Dustice. Exarch following up with the next. It's going to be a little bit of an early lead here for Germany. hallowatcher holding on to that SS, the first couple hundred combo. That'll be something to keep an eye on as well. That accuracy advantage for Germany already starting to grow as Utami's down at 95%, and Fiery was briefly below 98%.
Yeah, Utami has not traditionally been the strongest hard rock player for the United States, but Fancy Lad finding a break, that's another big one for Germany here. They're going to continue on with these 3 FCs, but Utami has made some big improvements in his hard rock in the past couple of months here. It used to be, you know, something that you would have never seen Utami in, especially for a precision hard rock pick. So the United States being able to utilize a player like that on a map like this is certainly something that I think they're trying to take advantage of here. That one break is not going to be the end of the world. However, a double break. Yeah.
Fiery Exarch break. The map is actually over, by the way. It's 2.5 minutes on. We're halfway through. It is still a three-way full combo and a huge backing combo for Germany. This is actually already reaching the point where unless there's a full reset for Germany, the map may well be over.
WhiteCat just hit that with 99.6.
Yep. hallowatcher and Dustice did both break, but WhiteCat and criller. Okay, criller breaks. Wait. It's halfway through. There's just no combo for the United States, so it doesn't even matter.
Yeah,
they have all nothing to fall back on. And WhiteCat, by the way, 99.67 AC FC. He is feeling himself today on these maps, looking good to start this match off.
Over-aim.
Finally find the break with a little over-aim. Fortunately for him, no damage will be done because the United States just doesn't have any combo to take advantage of. So the precision pick looking to work out well here for Germany.
Yeah, it's just Fancy Lad left over for the United States, but he's got a battle against Dustice and Criller, who both have comparable accuracy, if not better, on Dustice right now. Fieryrage continuing to find a couple extra breaks here in this latter half of the map alongside Utami. Exarch gonna try and put up a combo here to maybe match up, and there goes Fiery once again. It's the German team with Dustice and Criller holding it out at the end of the map here. WhiteCat did whatever he could to hold it at the beginning. Criller gonna make up for that earlier break here, and we are going to finish off with a very, very confident victory for Germany. That's actually the biggest score lead we've seen on a map thus far, 736,000, almost 737,000. Besides that DT3 pick, just over 1.1 million here. So Germany has had much larger score leads than the United States on their own picks today.
Yeah, and it makes you wonder, kind of what that says for the rest of the match. United States, I think, picking a couple maps that will typically be a little closer. That the Hard Rock 3, which is hard to get an amazing team score on. Nomad 6, likewise. Germany just picking into their own skill sets and looking really good. That is a 99.35 back, one miss from WhiteCat, 760k. Not a score to be ignored.
Germany gonna stick with the mechanics, possibly the precision, a little bit more on that side here. So this is, mechanics versus technical skill sets here. And we'll see if they keep that trend.
And this is the type of map, despite being still pretty early on in this match, this is the type of map that could represent a turning point in this match if the United States drops a break point here on something that they're just expected to be far stronger than their opponents on with a tech slider aim map. If they have a somewhat poor showing, if anybody on this team underperforms to expectations, that's a rough spot to be in. So we've got to be on the lookout for any little hiccups that they may have. And we do see a couple breaks early on. Aireu, Okinamo, and DigitalHypno on his first map of the day, finding an early break. So 3 FCs to 2 right at the beginning here for Germany, going to take an early lead once that combo outweighs the active.
There goes DigitalHypno and Criller to match up. Dustice found a very early break in the map as well.
Yeah, so United States gonna hold on for now. That Criller break helping things out. WhiteCat, once again, in doing his job. The lone remaining FC already for Germany against Fiery and Fancy Lad. Two of the best tech players in the world over there on that USA roster. But WhiteCat, known for his mechanics, but very good at a lot of different things. I think he gets kind of underrated because people think of him as, kind of that aim and speed player. But he is quite good at this sort of thing as well. And he is showing that here so far, keeping up with the opposition. Aireu and Dustice, though, trading a couple breaks, so it's going to be remaining in favor of the USA for the time being.
Very close here. Aireu and Dustice continuing to trade fieryrage and Fancy Lad, both with disgusting accuracies right now. WhiteCat not far behind, but there goes Fancy Lad. That's pretty big for Germany, but Criller finds a big break as well. That's going to keep it in favor of the US.
It's a 2v2, and Germany just took the lead. DigitalHypno finds the break. Fieryrage is the lone combo remaining for the United States. It was a 2v2 between him and DigitalHypno against WhiteCat and Okinamo, but now Germany with the advantage. But Okinamo finds a miss-aim, and it is now a 1-versus-1 Fieryrage against WhiteCat, who can maintain this full combo longer, both reaching up over 500k as we get into the last quarter of the map. Very similar in all facets. The accuracy about the same, but the United States backing combo on Fancy Lad and Aireu, doing work for them as Criller and Dustice break, but there goes Fiery. And DigitalHypno.
DigitalHypno, that's a big break for the US there. There's no backing combo. WhiteCat breaks!
He had the opportunity to try to make a single-person comeback, but unfortunately it's not meant to be, as there goes Dustice as well, and Fancy Lad looks like he's going to be able to bring this one home to the United States here into the ending.
Look at that. From the beginning to the end, Fancy continuing to maintain the accuracy. WhiteCat doing whatever he could for this map again. For the German team here, just not quite able to keep up. We'll see what happens into the ending here, but it is well over for the United States. The score lead just far too high. Criller, despite having a little bit of internet issues here, was not going to be able to pull up enough score for them to win, and the United States does win with a final victory margin of 306,000 score in their favor. Again, kind of keeping the same score margin here. 306,000, 381,000, 233,000. They're kind of hovering right around that range for everything here. So it's a decent score margin. It's a comfortable one, but it's not like damning for the German team here. It's not, we can't possibly take this later on. The United States team, I think year after year, they come in, and even on maps like Nomad 1 and all those other basic aim picks, I feel like they always end up underperforming from expectations on that. And I don't know if that's something with consistency or nerves or just being able to replicate performances from practice scores, but I think that in terms of favoring Germany thus far on these DT speed picks, they do have a decent advantage coming into this, but like you mentioned, anything's possible in the trade at the beginning.
We'll say, get a couple very early breaks, and yeah, the US historically is not a mod pick number 1 team. Nomad 1, Hidden 1, Hard Rock 1, DT 1. Like, that's just not what they trend toward. And so I don't know if maybe they just don't put in, the kind of time and effort on practicing those picks because they know they're not going to pick them themselves. But, you know, it can come back to bite them a little bit. You see Utami and fieryrage both finding breaks, but there goes Risiing as well as Dustice. So he's going to stay close. See what Fancy Lad and Aireu can do against WhiteCat, the only FC for Germany, but okinamo, that solid back and combo. Looks like Utami was in fact a Bancho miss, so that was not a break for Utami. But he is still holding on, which is going to help the United States take a little bit of a lead here.
Okinamo's last break right there was an actual miss, however, which is even going to further favor the United States team here. fieryrage and Okinamo continuing to trade. They're basically non-factors in this match right now. It really is between those 3 FCs on the United States team and those 2 supporting combos on the German team. They need to be able to hold those and hope that the United States finds a break. We do know how this goes. You start to pass that halfway point in the map and you get to that danger zone here. And he misses. There is a pretty jump section, big jump section right here. Let's see if we see any breaks from anyone. It has to come from the US team if Germany wants to pull back into this. It's just fiery.
fieryrage is kind of having a bit of difficulty on this map, but fortunately it's not all that important yet. It will, though, start to be if Okinamo can pull away from him. That is the closest player at about 80k now above fieryrage, but the triple FC on Utami Risiing and Dustice, that might just have ended Germany's chances of winning this pick. WhiteCat is at a 1x100 FC as Aireu finds a break, but Utami and Fancy Lad both have full combos, and it is just WhiteCat and Okinamo with combo for Germany. United States with a 300k lead, look to be on the verge of taking the first break point in the match.
Aireu did slow things down a little bit by finding a miss there. The United States was gaining about 100,000 score every 3 seconds there. And Aireu did slow that a little bit, but regardless, they needed a break from Utami and Fancy Lad as well. WhiteCat can't pull it back by himself, even with, what, 1x100?
Yeah, WhiteCat is having a day. It is unbelievable how well he is playing, but unfortunately just does not have the score he needs from his team, and that's going to be breakpoint United States by 300k. They're going to take a 4-2 lead going into the next pick. WhiteCat, though, man, 1x100 FC on a finals map, like, you know, he can just do it all. This guy is playing out of his freaking mind in this match.
Oh my god.
Going to be our first hidden of this match. So we'll see how the teams feel as we go into it. Map number 7. This is, again, another very big spot to be in. United States able to push it to 5-2. Germany looking to get the break point right back.
This is the point right here, and again, it's not do or die, but this is the time where the United States can almost lock this match in. They can start homing in on those, you know, final couple points potentially. If they do manage to get this pick, it's not over, but Germany, again, will be down 5-2 with the United States potentially looking for match point on their following pick, but not looking too good for the US so far. Utami and Tekkito both finding breaks. Not the 2 players you want to see missing on this.
I mean, after I just spent the interim period there talking about how they bring in these 2 hidden specialists, and they're the first 2 to break, so we're going to have to see if they can get calmed down going forward. There's a break from DigitalHypno as well. That's the concern, but there goes WhiteCat. That's his first miss in a little while, obviously, with the FC on the previous map and just the 1 miss back on Nomad 4. So we'll see if he can recover. It's a 3-way FC for Germany. The backing combo trying to get built back up behind Aireu's FC for the USA.
See if they're able to make something work here. Aireu does find a break. As I was about to say, he was holding up the United States. Good accuracy still from him, but it means nothing. There goes Tekkito again. Oh my goodness.
So this is the United States putting up their worst showings of this match so far. And this could get out of hand here in a hurry here if Germany keeps this up. There go Aireu, DigitalHypno. Criller, fortunately for the United States, does find a break. Utami with a bit of a combo, but Okinamo and Dustice just holding on like it ain't no thing. And WhiteCat with about a 400 combo. And there's the breaks for the United States. They have no combo at all. This is actually going to be in danger of being a breakpoint right back very quickly here. Germany just saying, hey guys, we are not going to go down without a fight. There's a break from Dustice, though. Not a lot of combo anywhere on the board. Just WhiteCat at sub 500. But that's going to be enough for Germany to keep this lead.
It's a very big lead at that. Almost 400,000 score over the course of a 3-minute map that is well over halfway done here. WhiteCat just needs to be able to hold this combo, but he breaks alongside Utami.
Okay, so we've got matching combos on both teams. So it's still in Germany's favor. There goes Dustice, there goes DigitalHypno. So it's Aireu, Tekkito versus criller, Okinamo. The combos are even. The score gap is 300k. This is really not achievable for the United States at this juncture. There's Okinamo. Is there enough time, though? Is there enough score left? There goes Aireu as well.
No, yeah, I don't think there is.
The United States just not able to take advantage of any miss from Germany as they are finding breaks left, right, and center of their own.
I don't know what to say anymore. I mean, I get this is like the video definition of just a turbo int for like.
This map is just high-key intable, I think, is how I've seen it put. Like, it's very easy to break anywhere on the spacing of these bursts, and the United States and Germany both showed it there. Two very subpar performances, but Germany manages to come out on top nonetheless with the break point back, so it goes quickly right on back over to 4-3.
That was an unfortunate situation for the United States there. Not exactly what they were looking for by any means. You know, a couple of standout performances from Germany just being able to pull out there, and criller with that good performance, 646,000, really just making the difference over the rest of the players in the lobby.
Still, you've got to like Germany's chances here. I'm very curious to see what we get for mods, though. It's going to be hidden hard rock on Exarch, hidden only on Utami, kind of expected there. Over on the German side, hidden only will surely be on criller, and then hard rock on Dustice. So we are going to see 2 nomads per team. Aireu, Fancy Lad, Umbre, WhiteCat, as those nomad players matching up against each other in the middle of the screen. So this is going to be interesting. The United States with the minor overmod, Exarch choosing to go hidden hard rock into Germany's hard rock only on the German pick. This is, again, every map feels so tense once you get to this stage, halfway past the halfway point of the match. This is Germany looking for a 4-4 tie if they can win their own pick here.
Well, I think if there was ever a time to do it, they have the motivation and the ability to make it happen here. This is a confident position from Germany. They had that break point down. They were able to take it back, and now they're right back into this match the way that they started. If there was ever a time to make it work, it's on a slightly maybe a more contested pick like this one. Again, you really don't know what's going to happen between any of the players on this, you know, hard rock or hidden alike. I think the nomad players, if you're comfortable at lower ARs, this is probably the most comfortable, you know, to go for here. But potentials for over-aiming on some of this is just, yep, like that on Fancy
like that. Yep, exactly like that. Yeah, those kind of linear patterns, it's very easy to just subtly miss-aim on some of those, and that is what's going to fall to Fancy Lad. And there goes Exarch as well. So down to just 2 FCs now for the United States, already almost halfway through this map, only 2.5 minutes long. And Germany now in a great spot, still holding the 4-way. The value of everyone on that roster is so high, and the United States is just gone. They just evaporated into the ether. Thanos just snapped his fingers and said, United States combo. What United States combo? It is gone. Criller, Umbre, and WhiteCat hanging on strong for Germany, looking like this is going to be a runaway pick for them.
Accuracies as well, just flying higher on Germany here. 99% on all 3 of the FCs. It's just Aireu for the US with some exceptional 99.91% here, but Utami finding breaks, Exarch finding breaks, and it's just Dustice for Germany right now. Umbre does finally find a miss, but Fancy Lad to trade it means that there's absolutely no progress being made for the United States here.
This is just Germany living up to expectations on this pick. Criller with the hidden FC still alive. Finally breaks at the end the instant I look his way. But WhiteCat, meanwhile, holding down the fort. And this is going to be another big win for Germany on one of their own picks. So other than that hiccup on DT1, their picks have all been very one-sided affairs for them. And it is going to be 4-4. As WhiteCat closes out the Nomad FC, the only full combo in the lobby. But shoutouts again, Criller, 840k plus with hidden, doing his part and assisting them to a 700,000 point win.
Massive victory for Germany there.
But it's going to be a big one here. As I keep saying, you know, all these maps, once you get at this stage, 2 picks left per team. The United States will have 1 more pick in their back pocket after this map, no matter what. The question will be what that scoreline will look like when they get there, and they've got to win this one. They want to ensure that it is with a tied score at worst. A lot on the line here. And Germany, a team that's looked good on DT, kind of fumbling a little bit on DT1, but looking great on DT3. So which version of Germany is going to show up for DT4? That's the question.
That's what I think they want to know here, because this is something that the United States has been fairly good at for the entirety of the tournament. They haven't looked awful on the DT4s besides some unfortunate breaks just because of the awkward patterning of previous weeks, but kind of kicking it up to a little bit more flow aim oriented this week. We kind of had some more technically intensive ones, but Fancy Lad, Risiing, and Criller all with breaks. But Aireu match is up now. 2-2 FPs once again.
I feel like a lot of these maps have been going this sort of way, where there's a break from one team and just a break right away from the other side. Nobody able to capitalize. There goes WhiteCat, though. That's been such a key score for Germany on a lot of these picks, and now he's going to get score capped with that break being where it is, just past the 1/3 mark. Risiing a lot of trouble here, down at 200k, a little bit behind. Criller building that combo back up to try and help out Dustice, but it's a double FC for United States, and backing combo is there. And they're going to take a bit of a lead here. They're going to try to run with it. A couple 100,000 points coming up.
Yeah, not just the lead on that full combo that they have, but there goes Dustice as well, the last FC on the side of Germany, and this is just going to fly over to the US now. 2.5 minutes on this pick. Fancy Lad does find a break, but with Dustice having broken right before, there's really no gains there. There goes Risiing as well. The United States just all too confident on this DT4 with Utami and fieryrage just pulling this through.
Yeah, you know, like you said, coming into this, these DT4 picks have been ones the United States has looked really good on week in and week out, and this one looks to be no exception. Fiery and Utami just making it look so easy, almost 99% AC FCs on both of them, and United States just pulling away. It's going to be a 500-600 or more 1,000-point lead. And Germany, just no answer, unfortunately, on this one. WhiteCat and Dustice kind of doing what they can, but it is going to just be a United States blowout. This is the kind of score that Germany's been getting on their picks. The United States finally making one of these blowouts happen.
Well, into the ending here, there is just all potential for the U.S. to continue going here. fieryrage does finally... Oh, neither of them FC! What?!
Oh, you hate to see it. Fiery and Utami both breaking within the last couple hundred combo. It's going to prevent it from being a 1,000,000-point win. But, you know, 900k or 1,000,000, it still is a demonstrative victory for United States. That is right where they wanted it. That's exactly what they needed after dropping 2 points in a row to just put their stamp on a map like that one. And now it is up to Germany again to try to respond.
The German roster here has a fairly heavy advantage here. Granted, Utami is far better at these stamina maps than he is at the speed maps, and I think that's something that the United States needs here. He didn't look too good on the DT3. Aricin did, however, which means that he has a potential to replicate that performance alongside Utami. So I think, given the way this map could go, Germany's going to need potentially 2 FCs here in order to win this map.
Yeah, I agree. You know, I think there's the potential for 3.7, 3.8 plus million points on this type of map from these teams, if not even higher. So you really have to put on a good showing. My eyes are a little bit on Risiing here. He's had some difficulties on some of these picks that he's been in for throughout this match. He's not been as consistent as some of his teammates. So, you know, his variance in score maybe a little bit higher than, you know, a Dustice or a KHC, who are guys that are going to come in for this and just nail it time and time again. And like you said, this one a little different than some of the previous DT2 picks in this tournament. Maybe it's something the United States will be able to keep in touch with a little more. Obviously, leaving it up was, and there is that first break from Risiing, so I hate to be right about those sorts of things. You want to see the best performance out of the players, but he is now going to be playing catch-up for a while here, as the United States is going to take an early advantage.
Very confident accuracies from all the players on the United States as well. Even Fancy Lad, someone on the United States roster who has kind of struggled with stamina for the tournament up until now, is looking rather confident on this pick here. Not super high BPM. 240 is not, you know, world-ending for a lot of players, even if you're not super comfortable with stamina. Utami is actually bringing up the lowest accuracy for the US team right now, but it does stay close. It is still right there for both of these teams. That break from Risiing is not the end of the world, but that break from Okinamo and Exarch keeps it even.
It's a trade. That could have been huge in the advantage of the United States.
Oh,
PhD and Risiing, that might just send it. It's going to be an instant 400,000-point lead for the United States in a matter of seconds. That is a place you cannot afford to miss at exactly halfway through. That is tragedy that has befallen Germany. Aricin, Fancy Lad, Utami just looking cool as a cucumber on that United States side. 99 AC plus for all three of them, and they're going to have a break. They might be seeing that score. Germany knowing they've got a big mountain to try to climb, and they've got they are not in control of their own destiny on this point anymore. United States has to blunder for Germany to have a chance at bringing this back.
I mean, yeah, and then Risiing finding another break here, and I mean, you're asking Aricin to miss on a stamina DT map. That's just such a big ask. We mentioned it before, Aricin and Utami, and yeah, that's just gonna do it right there. Fancy Lad finds the break.
Yeah, so we're seeing, I guess, why United States was willing to leave this map up this week against this German roster. I mean, you look at this score, it's going to be a huge one, 3.4, 3.5 million. It's going to be 2 maps in a row by 900,000 plus for the United States, and they are on a roll coming in to the ending. It's going to be another break point. It's going to be Aricin with a 99.6 AC. Full combo. He has shaken off whatever issues befell him earlier in this tournament. He is playing out of his mind on the maps that he is in for 1 million point win for the United States. That is just kicking it into high gear at exactly the right time. Yeah, I'm a little surprised not to see Criller in for this over maybe hallowatcher, but we'll see how it works out. You know, you got to figure that these teams know their best 4-man roster for any given pick. DigitalHypno coming in for the United States, you know, maybe thought that would have been like an Aireu or a Fiery at this stage of the match, but it is what it is, and like you said, you know, I think we have to expect better things out of Tekkito and Utami. 2 very early multiple misses from Okinamo and hallowatcher matched by DigitalHypno only, but this is a lengthy map, nearly 4 minutes, so there's a lot of time for things to develop over the course of this pick. And there's a lot on the line here, so also going to watch out for any sign of nerves from anyone in this lobby. A lot of experience goes into these 8 players, so it's unlikely, but it is still possible you get a big combo going, and you think to yourself, I need to keep this up, and maybe those little bit of nerves start to creep in and talk in the back of your mind. You know, keep it up. It's tough.
The type of map that you can expect some awkward breaks on, though. There are some really dense patterns in this that'll catch you off guard from having some fairly spaced bits before them. This is, you know, compared to the rest of the pool, one of the easier maps in the pool, I think, and that's going to definitely play into the potential outcome here. Fancy Lad finding a little bit of an overaim. Again, I mentioned that density change, but there goes Utami and Hallow as well.
My goodness. Okay, things just got exciting here. It's 2 FCs and a big combo against just Tekkito for United States. As DigitalHypno finds a break, he misses on air. And Okinamo and WhiteCat now look to try to run away with this here for Germany. Again, a lot of time. And Tekkito holding steady, but they're going to need some help now on that United States side.
I mean, Tekkito can't do everything by himself. Likewise, we've seen earlier in the match WhiteCat trying to win maps by himself, and it just doesn't work. But it is still pre-halfway in this map here, and they don't even have 100,000 score. It is going to start to push that right now, but there is a lot of map left to go. Almost 4 minutes on this one. Germany, while they are safe for now, need to maintain this performance, and it seems to be working. The United States, however, building up some combos. They do have to be careful.
They need breaks from Germany, and soon, though, because WhiteCat and Dustice are holding strong, and Okinamo just about 50 combo behind, not far at all behind those FCs. These breaks are going to need to come relatively soon, because you see that score gap growing over 200,000 points. There's a break from DigitalHypno. Okinamo, though, does trade it, but there goes Tekkito, the last FC for USA. That is their shred of hope starting to fade a little bit here as WhiteCat and Dustice just keep on going.
Here goes DigitalHypno one more time on a break. Fancy Lad and Utami now trying to do whatever they can, both of them with very good accuracy. Okinamo does break alongside Utami, though, and that, I think, is just going to be it. 300,000 plus score, pushing 400,000. Germany, WhiteCat, and Dustice finally finds a break, but WhiteCat, the savior of Germany, once again, alongside hallowatcher to match Fancy Lad.
This performance from WhiteCat over the course of this match has been nothing short of spectacular. I mean, you can't say enough about how well he is playing. hallowatcher does finally find a break. It's a 400k gap with a quarter of the map, less than a quarter of the map to go. I don't think
damage is done.
Technically comebackable at this point. United States has to all 4 hold and hope for a lot of breaks out of Germany, but WhiteCat's still got another couple 100,000 points in the bank, so it's going to feel good for Germany. And they're going to get an opportunity to send this to a tiebreaker on their own pick by all appearances here. Man, WhiteCat is just not letting up. You can tell he wants this one badly.
Oh man, Germany. This is the point that they want to be at, though. This is now their own pick to go into match point as we come into the final notes of this map here. WhiteCat versus Fancy Lad. WhiteCat with the ACK lead, and the FC is going to single-handedly hold off the United States as Fancy and DigitalHypno missed the ending. And WhiteCat with yet another absolutely mind-boggling FC to drag Germany across the line one more time. And it is now Germany's pick into match point.
Who would have thought coming into this match, the United States versus Germany, the United States would win. The United States would win 3 out of the 4 DTs, and Germany would win both hiddens that were played. I mean, if you said those maps were going to be picked, I think the predictions would have been exactly the opposite of what actually ended up happening. But WhiteCat just coming through in the clutch and giving them an opportunity to extend this match outward. Nomad 6 back in USC.
Look at it this way.
Is the one that's going to show up here again?
Look at it this way. It's tiebreaker potential. It's match point. You're on the opposing team's pick to win. I think over anything else right here, you want a player who is experienced in tournaments, is confident in their own gameplay, and will not shake on a hard rock pick like this. And I think that DigitalHypno fills almost every single one of those checks boxes for the United States right now.
Well, for the sake of the United States, I sure hope you are right. But Germany hoping that it doesn't end up making a difference. There's an early break from Aireu to start things off. hallowatcher will trade it, though, as we get underway with a couple early misses from these players. A little bit of nerves will probably start to creep in here, but who will they affect the most is the question. And so far, it's staying dead even. There's DigitalHypno, and a fieryrage, and criller. Okay. The world is being set ablaze. It was not fieryrage. Fieryrage was a Bancho break. Thank you. Criller, however, appears to have been an actual miss. So it's WhiteCat and Dustice taking on Fiery and Fancy Lad in that 2v2 on the board right now.
We've seen it before on the previous map. We'll see if they're able to do it again here. WhiteCat has had an amazing go of this match so far, and he's going to need to continue that on this pick here. There's a lot of pressure on him right now. He's been performing so well, and it's been a lot of the reason that Germany's won their recent picks. So, you know, God forbid WhiteCat, you know, doesn't pull out the performance now. It's going to be close, but he does have Dustice to back him up. hallowatcher is an exceptional hard rock player to have on your team, and that's another big factor. And there it is from WhiteCat.
WhiteCat finds the break. Now, I was about to say, there's one thing that concerns me as Fancy Lad finds a break, and that is the fact the United States has 2 mouse players in for a 4-minute long, kind of awkward aim hard rock. That mouse drift is a factor that I think can come into play here as this map goes on. So keep an eye on those. There's a big miss from Criller, though. Chain misses on the stream, and Fiery is going to start to be able to pull a little bit of a lead over, backed up by Aireu and DigitalHypno. The Fancy Lad break comes in, but it is... Wait, it was not a break from Criller. His combo...
It was not!
Then recovered. It was not a break, so this is basically going to be dead even with a slight combo advantage to Germany.
It's halfway through the map right now. The next break, if it's soon, could decide quite a bit of this map here. And it's from Dustice on the FC from Germany. That's awful for them, and there's no trade on the United States.
Oh man, that is a big one. USA has the opportunity now. There's never much of a break in this map. Fiery and Criller on the trade. It's Aireu, DigitalHypno, and Fancy Lad all with combo. It is a 60, 70,000 point lead. Not much. Aireu and DigitalHypno do have a pretty sizable combo advantage over WhiteCat and hallowatcher, about, what, 300 combo, plus the Fancy Lad backing score. They can pull away here, but they all have to hold on. They cannot find breaks. It's so
less
close.
Than 100K. Any break can throw this. hallowatcher has enough combo to claw this back, but they need Aireu or DigitalHypno to find a break before anyone does on Germany right now. We come into a stream section here. This is a big chance for a break, and it's Aireu! This could be it. There's enough combo. There's enough combo.
There is combo, there is time. Germany has to hold on if they want this to go. Dustice finds a break, but it's trade with Fancy Lad.
WhiteCat and hallowatcher have to hold. hallowatcher is the saving grace of Germany right now. He has to hold this combo.
And he is doing it. He looks a little shaky, but he's doing it. It's coming into the last seconds. Aireu is going to find a break. That's going to be it. Germany is going to take this in the last moment. We're going to be going to a tiebreaker. They have pulled through in the clutch when it mattered the most, coming into the ending. It's going to end up being about a 200k lead with all this score at the end. WhiteCat and hallowatcher, the duo for Germany to pull through. And just like last year's Grand Finals, Germany is going to take it to a tiebreaker against the United States.
For the second year in a row, this time on their own personal pick, Germany shows up exactly when it mattered most against a United States team who, putting up 2.7 million score on a Hard Rock 1, probably would have beaten 90% of the teams left in this tournament. And Germany clutches it out, and everybody, the moment you've all been waiting for the entire weekend, for the past 2 weekends, we are getting a tiebreaker between what I think are two of the most highly favored teams in this tournament.
I am prepared. This is going to be ridiculous. We see matching hiddens, Tekkito and Okinamo, both running that preference hidden mod. Utami, Fancy Lad, no surprise to see them both in. Aireu is going to be the fourth for the United States. Criller, the rookie, in for Germany, joining WhiteCat Dustice. We're gonna see breaks. Like, this is the type of map that I just don't think we're gonna see maybe the most amazing of scores on a lot of people, but it's just gonna be all about who can still be standing when they cross that finish line. And right now, everybody is just getting assaulted by the intro of this pick.
There's a dangerous part of this map, which is that it's very difficult to put up a consistently good combo or FC on this map. I think the best score we saw in this was actually Doomy in the show match for the veterans team, putting up well over, what, 600,000-700,000 on this map. And I think the dangerous part of not being able to hold consistent combos on this is that those carry players can really start to take a massive effect. I'm talking about people like Utami, I'm talking about people like WhiteCat, even Criller right now holding right up with him as Tekkito finds a big break for the US, the first major break out of both of these teams, but Dustice will trade it.
And this one's plenty long, almost 6 minutes. Dustice and Okinamo finding a couple breaks. United States getting that combo. But there goes Criller as well.
Ooh.
Oh, that is so bad.
Germany just had a meltdown.
We're not very far through the map. There's a ton of time left. You see on the scoreboard, barely anybody even at 100,000 points yet. So that gives you an idea of how much there is still to come. But the United States is going to try to claw any advantage they can get out of those early breaks from Germany and just try to ride them out as long as possible, because that is all you can ever hope to do on a tiebreaker like this one. And man, Tommy Aireu, Fancy looking good. WhiteCat still doing what WhiteCat has been doing this entire match, but it's just a question of whether he'll get the backing combo and whether his team can provide what they need to. Another break comes out from Okinamo and Dustice. The WhiteCat team backing is kind of letting him down here so far. The United States, 100,000 point lead is bigger than it looks because of how long this pick is.
This is very, very dangerous, and they have a chance to see the scores right now, and this could be either a very good spot for the United States. This is either a confidence booster for them, or it's, oh my god, we're winning, I cannot miss now, and if I miss, we have a chance of losing because WhiteCat is still FCing. So there's two scenarios, and we'll see on this next section who's able to hold through this combo right now. They're really relying on those three players from the United States right now. Tekkito, with that hidden, is putting work in right now, but Criller is matching up right alongside. Let's see. After we get through a little bit of a pause here, we'll see what happens. Client, this is literally the worst time. Literally the worst time.
Wait, okay. A Fancy Lad. Woo, okay, we're gonna have to see. We'll
see if Colorado Net prevails.
Yeah, we're going to have to see what happens here. I don't know. I don't know what's happening here, but we're gonna keep an eye out. It's still the United States in the lead. We're just gonna continue on as it goes. There's a break from Utami, but a break from Okinamo as well. It's a lot of combo for Germany. Aireu, Tekkito holding on. Fancy Lad, we're not sure. We have to hope for everyone's sake on the United States side that he is still playing.
His stream went offline. This might be very bad for the US. I am 99% sure Fancy Lad's PC has either crashed or his internet is gone.
Alright, well,
so now Fancy Lad is officially disconnected.
We're gonna see. I'm not sure what's going to happen here. There's basically no combo over on the side of Germany right now. Dustice is at about 1,000, but the others are pretty low. There's a break from Dustice. United States could actually win this as it stands if Tekkito keeps this up, and it would not even make a difference.
If Fancy Lad manages to reconnect before the map ends.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to have to see. I don't know. We don't know. We really, unfortunately, we're going to be playing this a little bit by ear here. We're going to be keeping in touch with the management staff here to see what's going to be the end result. But for now, we're just watching as the United States holds on to their lead. Despite Fancy Lad's absence, they do have a 160,000 point gap, and there are breaks everywhere except for Tekkito. He is the one keeping the United States in front on this with a ludicrous performance. He has the best score with Hidden by like 40,000 points over WhiteCat, and next behind that is all over 100,000.
So we have to remember as well, for everyone watching right now, because Fancy Lad's client is still connected in the map, the United States has about 231,000 score because of his right now. That is technically missing from the MP link if he doesn't disconnect, which is basically making this dead even between the two teams right now. However, Tekkito is going to very quickly make up that difference right now.
Yeah, this is going to be huge if Tekkito can continue holding on. No, he does not. He does find a break. It's coming down to the wire, though. It's getting close enough to the end where I don't know what kind of opportunity Germany is going to have to make much of a comeback. There's another break from Dustice. There's another break from Okinamo as well. All three of those members from the United States trying to build back up. Aireu, Utami doing all right for themselves. Fancy Lad is officially gone. And the United States are still showing currently as being in the lead as we come towards the ending of the map. The United States might just have this one regardless of what happens with Fancy Lad, which would be one of the most remarkable outcomes we've ever seen in any given map of an OWC.
Wait, it's still adding Fancy Lad's score right now. 500,000 plus 800,000 is not 1.6 million. So this is going to be close.
Okay, so I'm not really sure. We had a 230K...
I think they're losing right now. They're
United States lose without his score. He had 230K on the screen. I mean, that was his last known score before the DC. He wouldn't have gotten a lower score than that, considering there's still like 4 minutes left in the map at that point. So I'm not really sure. The score is going to show in the stream. The score is going to show that the United States won. On the MP link, it's going to show that Germany won due to the fact that Fancy Lad's score is not going to be there. So we've got some ruling to do here as far as what's going to occur. I think. Sorry to kind of leave you guys in the lurch here. We're going to be seeing some decision from this on the back end. We'll get you guys an update on who the winner is of this match as soon as possible. It does appear that we have a known score from Fancy Lad of 236,000 points.
The United States has won the match.
Means that the United States
that score is submitted.
Yeah. That means that we have that score present of when he DC'd. That is going to give the United States the lead. It's going to give the United States the win based on his score at the time of his disconnect. That's all it took. He didn't need a single another point to have the U.S. win that after that.
Rather
so it's going to the United States.
Score line, too. Look at that. Fancy Lad plus 200,000 score. The Germany actually won that pick by 138,000. So that is roughly 100,000 score difference between the two teams. That's with Fancy
so
Lad. That is a rather close tiebreaker pick here. But he's going to get us a screenshot really quick of that. This is, luckily for those that haven't been paying attention to the wiki, there was a new rule added that last submitted and seen scores are able to be used on this. So we are luckily going to have a chance to get that in here. The map has officially finished on the MP link there, and we are good to go. So I guess in order to close it, US. Woo! Let's go. Finally, we didn't blunder too hard. Nice job.
All right, so glad to have glad to have organizational staff available at hand to make these decisions at a snap judgment. It's like we go to the replay review booth up in New York, and they're going to rule in favor of that submitted score counting. It is going to be the United States 7-6. They are going to once again return to the grand finals from the winners bracket side They're guaranteed top 2 again, which has happened every year now from 2015 onward, despite switching out 4 members of the roster. But can I just give a huge shout out to Germany for their performance in this match? It was amazingly back and forth and so closely contested the entire way through.